In the chaos, it's hard to see the magic hidden inside you and me. But now the time has come to rise, to bring the truth into our eyes. It's not just illusion, it's not just a show. With magic with a K, you learn how to grow, creating the good with love and the light. You learn how to work and shine so bright.
All right, everyone, get ready, because we're going deep today.
Deep into the world of magic.
That's right. We've got a fascinating book here, Magic from Chaos to Clarity by Rob Alex, PhD.
And we're going to break it all down for you.
The good, the bad, the surprising stuff.
And what it all means for you.
You know, honestly, I had some preconceived notions about magic before we started digging into this book.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, I guess I pictured witches and cauldrons and spells and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a common image people have.
But this book goes way beyond that.
It does. One of the first things Alex does is make this really clear distinction between magic, like illusions and tricks.
Right. The stuff you see at a magic show.
Exactly. And magic with a K, which is something totally different.
Okay, so what is magic then? With a K?
Well, in a nutshell, it's the ability to use energy to bring about your desires.
So like wishing on a star, but on steroids.
Haha, kind of. But it's not quite that simple. It's more like, think of it as collaborating with a living, intelligent force that permeates everything.
Whoa, okay, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, Alex even compares magic to a partner, not an employee or a genie.
So it's not about commanding the universe to do your bidding.
Right. It's more about working in harmony with it.
I'm starting to see why this is called From Chaos to Clarity.
It is about finding clarity amidst the chaos of life.
One thing that really surprised me was that magic requires action, not just daydreaming.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just sit around and visualize what you want.
You actually have to put in the work.
Right. It's about aligning your intentions with your actions in the real world.
So no winning the lottery by just wishing really, really hard.
Haha. Well, I hate to break it to you, but no.
So what about the bad side of magic? I mean, there has to be some downsides, right?
Yeah, there are definitely some potential pitfalls. One of the biggest dangers is trying to control magic or use it for selfish gain.
It's like, with great power comes great responsibility kind of thing.
Exactly. Another mistake people make is trying to pit magic against itself, like wishing for something that contradicts another desire.
I can see how that could create some serious chaos.
It definitely can. One thing that really stood out to me was Alex's own story about becoming a published author.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
Well, he had been working on his book for 8 years, and it kept getting rejected.
8 years? Wow, that's dedication.
But he didn't give up. He kept refining his manuscript, kept putting it out there, and eventually it got picked up.
So it's a testament to the power of persistence.
It is, and it also shows how magic often works in ways we don't expect or foresee.
Speaking of unexpected, this whole concept of chaos magic really intrigued me.
Ah, yes, chaos magic. Sounds a bit intimidating at first, doesn't it?
It kind of does. Like chaos. Isn't that the opposite of what we're trying to achieve?
Well, in this context, chaos refers to this pure, undirected magic that's constantly being created.
By what? Where does it come from?
By good deeds, by acts of kindness, by positive energy.
Wait, so every time someone does something good, it creates magic?
That's the idea. It's like this reservoir of good vibes that's constantly flowing around us.
Wow. That's actually really beautiful.
It is. And Alex talks about how we can actually soak up this energy.
Okay, so how do we do that? Do we have to, meditate in a forest or something?
Well, that's certainly one way. Nature is a great source of chaos magic.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about other ways?
Alex talks about absorbing energy from acts of kindness, from helping others.
So by doing good, we're also receiving good.
Exactly. And here's something that might surprise you. He even mentions sporting events.
Sporting events? Really?
Yeah. He describes this vivid image of physically inhaling this energy at a stadium, riding the wave of excitement and collective focus.
So whether we're in a peaceful forest or at a rowdy football game, we're surrounded by this chaos magic.
That's right, and we can learn to connect with it.
I'm starting to feel more energized just thinking about it.
Me too. But it's not enough to just soak up this energy. We have to learn how to direct it.
Right. Because otherwise it's just this, raw power with no purpose.
Exactly. So how do we direct this energy towards our desires? Well, that's what we're going to dive into in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait. Until then, listeners, Keep soaking up that chaos magic.
Hi everyone! Next week we will have 3 podcasts about very interesting books on Chaos Magic because, although they are not specific lines, they are very useful to those who are willing to use them, both in concrete jungles and in nature. This is here at...
Chaos Magic Time.
Welcome back!
To the deep dive. We're back.
We are...
And we're ready to keep exploring the world of magic.
Yeah, last time we were talking about that really fascinating idea of world magic.
Right, like everyone on Earth uniting their energy for some big goal.
Exactly.
But for this part of the deep dive, I want to shift gears a little bit because there's this whole chapter about the connection between magic and love.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually more complicated than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of surprising, really.
So what's the deal? Like, is love good for magic or bad for magic?
Oh, that's the thing. It can be both.
Wait, what? How is that even possible?
Well, some people believe that love can actually weaken your magic.
Really? I always thought love would be this, like, super powerful energy source.
You'd think so, right? But the idea is that love can make us too emotional.
Okay, so how does that mess things up?
It can cloud our judgment, you know? We might try to force things to happen because we're so caught up in our feelings.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And that can backfire big time.
So it's like we need to be careful not to let our emotions run wild when we're working with magic.
Exactly. But then there's this whole other side to it.
Which is?
Some people believe that love is the very source of magic.
Hold on, so love can weaken magic. And D, it can be the source of magic.
It seems contradictory, I know.
It does. So how do we make sense of that?
Well, Alex doesn't really take sides, which I think is smart.
Yeah, it's not a simple yes or no answer.
Right. He acknowledges that both perspectives have some validity.
So it depends on the situation, maybe.
I think so.
And maybe on the individual's intentions, too.
Absolutely. We all experience love differently, after all.
It's really making me think about my own relationship with love.
Me too. It definitely adds another layer to the whole magic thing.
Okay, but let's move on to something a little less abstract.
Sure.
One thing Alex really hammers home is that magic is not a substitute for action.
Totally agree. It's not about sitting on your couch visualizing $1 million and then expecting it to just show up.
No. So how does action fit into the picture?
It's about aligning your intentions with your efforts in the real world.
So it's like a partnership between magic and action.
Exactly. One phrase Alex uses that I really liked is magical intentions.
Magical intentions. It's interesting.
So it's not just about having an intention, it's about putting that intention into action.
In a magical way.
Exactly. Using techniques like visualization and rituals.
So it's like a multi-pronged approach, intentions, actions, and magic all working together.
Exactly. And that's when things really start to happen.
Speaking of things happening, what about group magic?
Ah, yes, group magic.
How does that work? Is it just like individual magic, but with more people?
It can be, yeah. It's like when a family comes together to support a sick relative.
So it's like their collective energy is amplified.
Exactly. Or think about home field advantage in sport.
Oh, yeah. Like the energy of the crowd can actually influence the outcome of the game.
That's the idea. And Alex talks about how this principle can be applied to all sorts of situations.
The group magic can be really powerful.
It can, but of course there's also a potential downside.
Uh-oh. I was wondering when we'd get to that.
Yeah, group magic can be misused just like individual magic.
So it's important to use this power responsibly.
Definitely. We need to be mindful of our intentions and make sure we're not harming anyone.
Which brings us back to that idea of ethical considerations.
Always important. Whether we're working with magic on an individual level or as a group.
Okay, so we've talked about love, action, group magic. But there's one more big concept we need to address.
And that is?
The idea that magic itself is intelligent.
Ah, yes, intelligent magic.
This was probably the most mind-blowing part of the book for me.
It's a big one for sure.
So what does it even mean to say that magic is intelligent?
Well, it suggests that magic is not just some blind force we're trying to manipulate.
It's more like a conscious entity.
Yeah, something that's aware and responsive to our intentions.
Whoa. Okay, that changes everything.
It does, doesn't it? It means we need to approach magic with a whole new level of respect.
And maybe a little bit of humility, too.
Definitely. And that's a perfect segue into the final part of our deep dive.
Where we'll explore the implications of intelligent magic for our understanding of the universe.
It's gonna get deep.
Stay tuned, listeners.
We are and live here to enjoy life Avoiding this means avoiding being ourselves. One of the ways people like to live is by learning more, and that's why I make these podcasts about books and about chaos magic. Here in Brazil, we are all educated to be cheap. That hurt education to be socially accepted, so I thought that the popular objection to chaos magic would be very intense. I was wrong. Here people are eager to learn and practice things that work for us Brazilians. It's no different outside of Brazil, but since English is not our native language, communication is a bit rigid. Anyway, I now make podcasts in English because just as many other people also liked them. I believe it is important to use these podcasts as a basis for at least Chaos Magic group to start discussions about them. However, I must point out that groups that are not practitioners of Chaos Magic will be very surprised when they practice these works that I recommended. And also I will recommend. Let's keep our hunger for learning strong here in Brazil or anywhere on the world. Hugs!
All right, Deep Divers, we're back. Part 3.
The final chapter of our magic journey.
We've covered a lot of ground, but buckle up because this is where things get really cosmic.
Yeah, last time we were wrestling with this idea of intelligent magic.
Right, like what does it actually mean for magic to be intelligent? How does that change our whole view of the universe?
Well, one thing it does is it really challenged this idea that we're just like insignificant specks in a random universe.
Yeah, like we're just along for the ride with no say in how things unfold.
Right. But if magic is intelligent, it suggests that we're actually active participants.
We're co-creating reality.
Exactly. It's like we're in this constant dance with the universe, and our intentions and actions have real weight, real consequences.
So we're not just puppets on a string.
Definitely not. It's more like we're all part of this big cosmic web, and we're all interconnected.
And magic is the thread that weaves it all together.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And you know, when you think about it that way, it makes world magic even more mind-blowing.
Because suddenly it's not just about wishing for a better world.
It's about realizing that we have the power to actually make it happen.
Through our collective intentions, amplified by magic.
And guided by this intelligent force that's evolving right alongside us.
So it's like we're all holding these little pieces of the puzzle.
And when we come together with a shared purpose, we can create something truly amazing.
But it all starts with recognizing our own individual power.
Right. Our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, they all matter.
Because they're all contributing to this collective pool of magic.
And every choice we make, every act of kindness, every moment of connection, it all sends ripples through that web.
So even small things can make a difference.
Absolutely. It's like we're all drops in the ocean, but together we create the tide.
And with magic, that tide can become a powerful force for change.
Exactly. It's not about waiting for someone else to fix the world.
It's about stepping into our own power and becoming conscious creators.
You're not powerless. We have this amazing tool at our disposal.
We just need to learn how to use it wisely.
And that's an ongoing journey.
It is. And one that requires us to stay curious, to keep exploring, to never stop questioning.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into magic, I hope you're feeling inspired.
Yeah, a little bit awestruck, maybe even a little bit overwhelmed.
But mostly, I hope you're feeling empowered.
Because the truth is, we're all capable of magic.
We're all connected to this intelligent force.
And together, we can create a reality that reflects our highest aspirations.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep the magic alive.
And until next time on The Deep Dive, stay curious.
Magic from chaos to clarity. Unlock your power, set your spirit free. From your hands to the world to the sky. You've got the magic, it's time to fly. From one heart to a million strong. Magic flows where love belongs. It's more than a force.